Hi, welcome to GoldMap. This week I'm giving my SDC an upgrade. We're going from the standard 8-inch coil to a Coiltek 11-inch round. So we'll get a bit more depth out of this. And today I'm going to go through the parts. I've got the accessory kit here as well. And I'll show you how to install the Coiltek Gold Extreme coil. Firstly, I'll go through the parts. I've got the Gold Extreme accessory kit here. You open it up, it comes with an instruction manual. And a bag of parts. You've got a couple of washers to go with the coil that attach to the end here, just like you do on most other coil setups. This is the attachment that you're going to fix to your SDC. It also comes with a little screwdriver, the base plate that you eventually replace. If I turn this around this way, this replaces this when you have the Gold Extreme coils on it. So your little screwdriver that's included, and in this bag with the washers there's also a screw-on cap and a beaded chain so you can rethread your normal coil back onto your SDC. So this isn't permanent, this is just so you can upgrade it to a bit better depth when you want to. And also comes with a little replacement clamp and a couple of screws to go in that as well. So I'll get all these parts out on the table. And also there's an Allen key included as well, just to get this side plate off. And other than that, you need a coil. So I've decided to go the 11-inch. Now there's a little brochure showing you what other coils are available. It also comes in a 10x5, a 14x9, but I've gone for the round 11-inch because the round monos seem to always have a bit better stable target, and that's what the SDC is set up on. So that's what I've decided to choose for my first upgrade. So you've got your coil, you've got your accessory pack, and you've got all your parts out. Now it's time to read the instructions and go through step by step to see what we can do to install this upgrade. Alright, our first step is we've got to unscrew and remove this cover. So I'm going to get out of the way the things I don't need to start with. Now, that Allen key that's provided, now this is my first time doing this, so we'll see how easy it really is. Now we have to keep these screws because they go back in to hold this other plate on, so don't lose them. That's one. That's the second one. Now this should, yep, there we go, come off. That just clips out. Now as you can see, there's the coil plugged in down here and the curly coil going up into the shaft here. So we need to unscrew this as well in this first step. And it's all been fairly easy to undo, which is good. You don't want to be forcing any of this stuff because you don't want to damage anything. Now that's the cord undone. I'll just unclip it from this little plastic holder, and now that's free. So that's our first step complete. Alright, the next step is we've got to get the screwdriver provided, this one here, or this one, we've got to remove this screw here. Now you've got to turn it clockwise. Oop, got to be careful, I'm chopping up the plastic with this. Oop. And then it's meant to just slide out, which it isn't. I've got some pliers here, some pointy nose ones, so I'm just going to put that on each side because I've already done a bit of damage there, and I'll slowly pop that out. There we go. Just slowly working it because we need to be gentle on this screw. There we go. We've got the screw out. Now we need to keep this because we don't have a replacement one. And as you can see, I've done a little bit of damage to it, but I just need to be a bit more careful next time. Okay, we've removed that screw. And the other thing we have to screw out now is on this base, there's this little clamp here. So we'll be unscrewing that now. Now those screws were nice and easy, a lot better than that last one. Once we've got this second screw out, we're just going to, this plate should wiggle off. That's come off alright, and apparently now this end of this coil assembly should just slide out like that. Great. Now we've undone those screws, that pin under there, and these two screws down the end here. We'll move on to the next step. Okay, the next step is we need to feed the coil curly cord out through the cable, out through the shaft, sorry. So we're going to bend this a little bit. I might move this stuff out of the way. So we want to be gently twisting and pulling this cord. Nice, it's starting to go around that bend good. So I'll give it a bit more of a push and a pull. This last little bit's been a bit tricky. Oh, there we go. The coil is off. So it's looking pretty weird at the moment. And now we'll move on to the next step of attaching the Coiltek shaft attachment. Alright, the next step is attaching the shaft attachment. So we're going to need to slide that in with the screw holes lining up with these other screw holes. Rub a bit of the dust out of there. That slid in really nicely. Now the next thing we've got to do is add this little clamp into there. So
That seems to be quite a tight fit. Okay, I've got that lined up with the screw holes. We're going to use these screws provided. They seem to go in very nicely. So it's just into here. And that's pulling itself in together there nicely, so we'll tighten that up now. Now I'm just doing them firm because these plastic screws, again, you don't want to wreck them. So, we've removed the coil, we've added the shaft attachment. The next thing is these little teardrop washers. They need to be installed on each side. On the other side. Nice. Now it's just a matter of installing the coil. Okay, the last step is grabbing your Coiltek Gold Extreme coil. I've got the 11 inch. I'm doing this ring nut and bolt. Shift a few of these things out of the way. Now, I need to work the shaft attachment into the base. Now, is it going to go in alright? Oh, it's a bit tight actually. I just have to open that a little bit with my hands. And that's half winded up there. Alright, that's got it in. We just apply the wing nut on this following side. And we want it up firm, but we still want it to be able to move around a bit, so that'll be good. Now we get the coil cable, and you want to extend your shaft to your desired length. Be somewhere around there. I don't mind having it fully extended, maybe just a little bit shorter. And you want to wrap your coil around it, your coil cable, sorry. So that's going to go right the way up. You've just got to leave enough room to be able to get your coil back into the housing here, because you need to then plug this in and screw it on just like your original coil screwed off. Make sure that's nice and firm. No, actually, that's a bit loose. I'm going to unscrew that and give it one more twist around my shaft, just to make sure it's at an appropriate tightness. You don't want the coil cable flopping around, because that can give you false targets and false sounds and things like that. So We'll try this again. Just want to make sure I put in the cable in the right direction and not forcing it. And once again, tighten this up. Now you want it firm, but you don't want it to be silly tight either. So that's going to be nice. And after that, you've got to grab this base plate that they provide you with, and it's got a nice little hole for where that cord's going to come through. So it's just a matter of making sure it all lines up when you go to clip it back on. Nice. And those two screws that were the original screws go back in there. And the Allen key provided we'll use to tighten this back up. Now it's been relatively easy to get this done. There was a couple of the plastic, this pin screw was hard to get out. I recommend using a pair of pointy nose pliers. And also pushing the cord through the shaft, you just got to take your time also. Alright. We've got that all clipped on. Now we'll move this out of the way. I'll give you a look from far back. It's a much bigger coil than the original. I'll show you the side by side. There's a big difference. So this is going to give me a lot more depth and a few options to where I'm going to go detecting. So I'll fire it up just to see what happens. Nice, well, I look forward to going to use that soon. It's been good to have an option to be able to upgrade these machines because it's such a good machine and they do so well. The only other thing I ever wanted was a little bit more depth, and this has given me that option. So I hope you've enjoyed me going through the Coiltek Gold Extreme coil upgrade today. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. And for more videos and notifications, tick the bell on, and I'll see you next week.